Putting a limiter on your mix bus before you start mixing can change the way that you mix. But is it for the better or for the worse? What's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and stick around because I drop videos every single day. You're not going to want to miss them, I promise you. So if you didn't know, some people like to put a limiter on their mix bus right before or towards the beginning of their mix. What this does is it's going to get your song nice and loud right to begin with, and it's going to give you like a pre-mastered, I like to call it, sort of feel before you even begin mixing. But is this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, you probably guessed it, it's both. So one of the reasons that it is a good thing is because, like I said, it's like a pre-master. It's like you get to hear your song with a rough master while you're mixing it. This can help to turn the level up, to make it nice and loud, to make it sound cool, can get you motivated and inspired to work on it. It's going to get you closer to the finish line right off the start, right? Which is going to help you. Also, if you've ever mastered your own mix or had your mix mastered by someone else, even more importantly, you'll probably know that you can have the mix sounding great or you think it sounds great, but then once it's mastered, whether by you or somebody else, you're realizing issues with your mix that you didn't hear before, right? Well, putting a limiter on your mix bus can help avoid this because you're hearing that limited sound, that rough master, I like to call it, while you're mixing. So you're making your mix decisions through the lens of a rough master, right? Just a limiter. But so this is going to help you make better mix decisions so that once you finally finish your mix and you do a proper master, it's going to translate through that master better. Right, because we've all had this happen where we master our mix and then the kick's not loud enough, or it's too loud, or the vocal's too loud, or then it gets buried, or right, all these issues occur because we didn't hear it when it was mastered, and that does change the overall tone and feel of the song. So wouldn't it make sense to mix through a limiter so that we can get that tone and feel right? So then when we do a full proper master, it's going to translate much better. Those are kind of the reasons that I see it's a good idea to do this. Now, of course, we got to talk about the downside of putting a limiter on your mix bus while mixing and mixing through it. The first one, and probably the biggest one, is that it can be used as a crutch, right? You could put your limiter on and then feel like you don't need to do any more dynamics processing on the individual track level or bus level because it's all being handled by the limiter, which is going to probably lead for a weaker mix, especially when it does get that full-on master. It's just not going to hit the same. In the same vein is it can squash your dynamics, right? So your kick and your snare, all the things that are, nice and punchy, or at least should be in the mix, could be getting squashed by the limiter, and you could be trying to overcompensate for that. And then once you go and you take that limiter off and do a final master, they're going to be way too loud because the limiter on your mix was suppressing them and you didn't realize how much it was doing that. Also, another big reason is because it can kind of hide or mask problems in your mix that you're not going to hear until you take it off and you go to master it. So while it can help to see through that lens, it can also be a hindrance because it's going to mask problems, whether it's dynamics, EQ. There's a million different ways that it can kind of hide the problems in your mix that you would have heard if you didn't have the limiter on, but because you did, it's going to mask them. So whether you do this or you don't is up to you. Give it a shot. What I like to do is I usually do mix through a limiter, but it's very subtle, and I like to turn it off here and there, right? So I can get the best of both worlds, right? The positives of not having a limiter because I can bypass it here and there, and the positives of having the limiter because I can enable it. So that's what I would recommend. So there you have it, guys. There's what I think about mixing through a limiter. It's not the devil, but it's also not a lifesaver. Anyways, guys, hope you like this. Let me know down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate it. Please make sure to like and subscribe. You guys are the best. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Inswain with Inswain Audio. Peace.